was gonna talk about something else, but I'd like to comment on this stuff Joe handed out. The redacted phone numbers. The exemption you're claiming is 4256-210, paragraph 1. That's the invasion of privacy statute. And for something to invade your privacy, it needs to, number one, be highly offensive to a reasonable person. And number two, there needs to be no legitimate public concern in the information. So you have to meet both of those. It could be highly offensive, but if it's a legitimate public concern, it gets disclosed. So you mentioned call to Papa Murphy's Pizza. I don't see how that would be highly offensive to a reasonable person and of no legitimate public concern. I mean, that's public property. If you're gonna be using the telephone to be making personal calls, you should be making them at home, not at work. And I don't see how Papa Murphy's phone number is highly offensive to a reasonable person. Maybe only in a commissioner's mind, but not in a reasonable person's mind. So, the other thing is we've gotten a statute from Mr. Richards that says that you're not supposed to use public property for campaigning. So I'm sure you'll deny that any of these phone numbers you were campaigning, but I'd just like to remind you that public property is not to be used for campaigning. So I would ask you to disclose these phone numbers because I don't see any legitimate reason why they wouldn't be disclosed. I mean, if you're calling home, that's fine. If you're calling Papa Murphy's Pizza, then I think that should end up being disclosed. I would be curious into who you're calling. It's a public telephone. If you don't want people to know who you're calling, go use your own phone. But in your mind, I guess, once you become commissioner, then everything belongs to you. And we've seen that kind of an attitude permeate this place since you've taken office. And in regards to mismanagement of OLECAP, I wrote you a letter back, October 2007, wondering what happened to all that county property that, hydraulic sander, scuba gear, all that stuff that just disappears off the county inventory rolls and is never put up for bid as required by statute. And I never got a response to that letter either. I've probably written you 20, 25 letters since you've taken office, and I've never got a response to one of them. So if you think silence is going to somehow make it all right, I think you're mistaken. I think you need to be accountable for what's happening here, and ignorance isn't the path you should be following.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I'm going to close public comment period.